Today I'm reading another story about our little cowgirl friend Nellie Sue. It's called Every Cowgirl Needs a Horse, written by Rebecca Janney, illustrated by Lynn Averill. Every cowgirl needs a horse. I am a cowgirl from head to toe, and every cowgirl needs a horse, so I asked for one for my birthday. This says, plan for my birthday. Number 1, a horse. Most important. Any color will do. And so here's the house. So she's moving the car out of the garage and putting the horse in the garage. This is her plan. And the front yard's going to be the corral. And she also needs brushes, oats, and a saddle and bridle. She thinks she has it all figured out. Birthday morning, I shook the sleep out of my braids and dressed for riding. I pulled up my jeans, snapped on my chaps, tugged on my boots, and tipped my hat. Morning, Nellie Sue, I said to the mirror. Morning, Mama answered. What would the birthday girl like for breakfast? Something that'll stick to my ribs. I got chores to do. After breakfast, I hosed fresh water into Ginger's trough and moseyed off to muck the stalls in the barn. She doesn't really have a barn, but she's changing the hay in the hamster cage, or the mouse cage. I'm not sure what lives in there. Outside, I scattered seeds for the free-range chickadees. Mama called out, "Need a little help?" No, I said, what I really need is a horse. I wrangled our wagon out of the shed and piled it high with grass harvested from our own backyard. Only the best for my new filly. That's a name for a female horse. Daddy asked, "You need help?" No, but I do need a horse, I told him. Lunchtime came, but my horse had not. Still, I'd worked up an appetite doing chores, and Mama made my favorite chili and beans. After lunch, Daddy hollered, "Time to round 'em up for cake and ice cream." I looped Ginger's leash into a lasso. Yee-haw, we've got herding to do. Look at that. She made a lasso out of her doggie's leash. She's quite talented. We circled the block barking and yelling until we scared up a stampede of kids. One little one broke away and I almost had to hog tie him in. She's funny. Hog tie him. I threw up my arms and shouted, "I do better with the horse." Soon as the herd gathered, Mom passed out Johnny cakes. I strummed my guitar while we all sang Happy Birthday and Home on the Range and enjoyed a good time round the campfire. And then it happened. Daddy said, "Hey, Nellie Sue, got a horse here for you." Really? Look. He patted the saddle of a brand new bike. Isn't she a beauty? She has a shiny silver coat with a bright pink saddle and a pale pink mane. Well, you gonna ride her? Daddy asked. All eyes were on me and I felt like I swallowed a hay bale. I wasn't real keen on riding a horse with wheels where hooves ought to be. "She's ready for riding," Daddy coaxed. I walked over to her with my palm out flat so she could get a good sniff. "Well, beauty," I whispered, "you gonna let me lead you around a little?" With everyone staring, I judged I better give 'em a show. Like a true cowgirl, I put one boot in the stirrup, flung my other leg over the saddle, and pedaled like I was running from a wild hog. We skedaddled down that hill. Giddy up! See, and she's imagining her new bike. Beauty is a real horse. Imagination is wonderful. Straight over the chicken wire fence and into the garden. Right in the middle of Mama's tomatoes. Thud, smack, wham. Oops. Yikes. think she's okay? Beauty was hurt real bad. I hugged her close and hollered for my dad. Look, Daddy, I cried, that chicken wire's poking right through her hoof. Sure enough, Beauty had a puncture wound. Will she be okay? I asked. Daddy wrapped up Beauty's wound, pumped her full of medicine. See, they put more air in the tire. And said, well, now she's as good as new. That's a girl, I whispered, holding her steady. Beauty seemed taller and wiser too, but maybe that was me getting a little horse sense of my own. Beauty, I told her, a real cowgirl always gets back in the saddle. Let's do it. I stuck my boots in the stirrups and gripped the reins. Beauty held her head high and cantered along, gaining speed. My braids blew like kite tails as we galloped down the slope, and I grinned until I could taste the wind. Good for her. She got back on and gave it another chance, didn't she? Yes, sir. I'm a cowgirl from head to toe, and all a cowgirl really needs is a horse. And I do have that. Great story.